Part 2. Crimson Flower. Pegasus Moon. Tempest of Swords and Shields. With Deirdre under Imperial control, the Leicester Alliance ceases to exist, and its remaining lords ally themselves with the Empire. The Black Eagle Strike Force, having now conquered all of Eastern Fodlan, confidently moves to invade the kingdom.
Alright. Quite the conundrum that we've found ourselves in. Now have dismantled the entire alliance. Alright. We'll see what happens. Who knows? This honestly makes me wonder what happens with the whole Battle of the Eagle and Lion bit from Part 2, if that ever happens. Because Claude's not there anymore. So, we'll see.
And that concludes Count Burgley's report. Just as Claude said, the Old Alliance has willingly fallen under Imperial rule. However, knowing him, there is no telling what manner of poison could be waiting within. We must be careful not to expose any weakness.
Of course, though it seems we can now attack the kingdom without issue.
True. However, you should know that Lord Arundel has entered Deirdre. It would seem he has already started collecting the relics of the Old Alliance.
Let him do as he pleases for now. It's not yet the time to chide him.
Understood. As for the kingdom, as we theorized, it is not entirely united. If we defeat the royal family of House Bladed, and a handful of other notable houses, it should fall under our control quite readily. Those we must target include the houses Fraldarius, Galatea, Gautier, and Karen. We have allies who are close to some of those lords. Perhaps that can be used to our advantage. Persuasion by tears or threats. Perhaps one would consent to act as a hostage. We must make good use of the tools given to us.
What about House Row in Arian Road, the fortress city? Will they not side with us?
The head of House Fraldarius, Lord Rodrigue, has entered the city. It is possible that he has seized it.
I see. Then it might prove too difficult to strike Ferdiad right away.
Either way, when preparations are complete, we can begin our deployment into the kingdom.
That part of the plan remains unchanged. Professor, is something wrong?
Well... Interesting.
Yes, I don't imagine that you have much interest in a running list of noble names. But it matters
no, not
not.
really.
The nobility and the weight of all those names will be gone once the war is over. This month, we must again put all of our effort into preparing for battle. I'm counting on you, my teacher.
Sure. Oh.
Professor, you didn't hear anything just now, did you?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna ask if she's okay.
Of course I am. It's nothing. Nothing at all.
Oh my gosh! Really? No, I'm not doing that.
I told you it was nothing and I meant it. It's just... well, there was a rat. I don't enjoy the company of rats. I believe I've told you about this before. About when I was held captive beneath the palace. There were a lot of rats there. To this day, I just... What? Oh, Professor, leave here at once. I recall now that Hubert needs to speak with me. I must change my clothes. Now, whatever you do, don't look this way.
I mean...
Then Forget what you saw. That's an order.
What? What was that interaction? Seriously? I'm not bothering. Oh my gosh. Alright. That is interesting though. I wonder what she had on her desk. So, what is it we've got to do? Okay. Okay, that one. There's that one. Wait, what? Well, how would this work if you're not against the Empire? Okay. Alright, well, so there is some that we've seen before. I'm actually curious on how this is different, but we do have these two, so of course we'll show off, I'll show off those two when we get to them, but I'm actually curious as to exactly how that changes the fight here. Because supposedly, it's just Petra getting to a certain point and then the Empire is trying to block you, but I don't know. That's weird. That's really weird. I get that it's a requirement between that you needed those two individuals, but I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, you guys won't have to worry about it. I'll see you guys when we come back to do those side missions. Oh boy. And, of course, I'll record any of the differences as far as that one mission. But anyway, see you guys in a little bit.
How are you today, Lysithia?
Fine, thank you. And yourself?
Quite well, thank you.
I overheard something recently. Something pertaining to you and your vision for the future. Is it really true that you intend to create a world in which crests no longer exist?
It's true. My aim is to dismantle the current system of aristocracy. The only reason nobles enjoy the status they do is because their bloodlines carry crests. If crests lose their value, so will titles of nobility.
I really agree with your thinking. My parents have suffered throughout their lives due to their nobility. Due to my own crests, I've never been able to live a normal life. I'm sick of nobility and crests, of all of it. It sounds as if it's truly your mission to change things. I'll pledge my life to your cause, however short it may be.
Lysithia.
Has your hair always been that color, by the way?
Huh?
I ask because mine wasn't always this color. I lost all pigment after receiving my 2 crests. Edelgard, I want a world where people like you and I are no longer victimized. I want you to bring that world into being. If it's within me to help that come to pass, then I'll do whatever it takes.
Understood. I promise to do all I can to see this goal to fruition. And I want you to promise something in return. That you will never stop fighting for your life. Whatever terrible fate awaits us, we can fight it and prevail. I need you to trust me on that. Do you promise?
I promise. I will try my best to believe that.
Good girl. Now then, would you care for a sweet cake?
Please do not call me that. But, yes. Yes, I would.
You trust too much, allowing someone who has turned their blade on you to come near.
Because there are 2 sides to you, you fear that I endanger myself?
I am nothing more than a merciless killer. A demon whose only pleasure is found within death's shadow. Such a creature should not be allowed near you. dear sister.
Just what are you implying, Emil?
I have come to bid you farewell. Today, I will leave the monastery for good. If I stay, it is only a matter of time before I hurt you. Just like I did those in House Bartels.
You can't leave. But if it must be so, then answer me this before you depart. Why did you kill your father?
On the day I took his life, Father had just discovered that you and Mother were hiding at a church in the kingdom. He was considering bringing both of you back home. But by then, Mother was past the age to bear children. And so, he proclaimed that he would take the only other female of the Lamine bloodline, that he would take you as his wife. What happened after that, I remember nothing of it. How I killed him, or what his final words were.
You did it for me. To protect me.
Regardless of reasons, a demon is a demon. I have said enough.
Hold on! That isn't fair!
Not fair?
No! You can't just tell me all of that and then vanish forever. Please stay. At least until this horrible war meets its end. I want you around just a while longer.
But all that I do results in harm to others. You saw it yourself. The demon that lives within bears his fangs indiscriminately. You know all of this, and still you wish for me to remain?
Even if I am hurt, or worse yet, killed, if it is by your hand, then I will find peace. I am, and will always be, your big sister, Emil.
Mercedes,
I love you, Emil. That never changes. Understand?
I understand. Then, I will remain here a while longer. Until we see this war through, I will remain by your side.
Yes? Oh, it's you, Professor. I was certain it was Hubert coming to drag me back to my duties. Your Majesty, you must know your supreme talents are needed at present. Why not gaze at these documents instead of the sky? Doesn't it? And the worst part is that he's always right, so I can't even argue with him. But that's enough about Hubert for the moment. While I have your attention, I'd like to thank you for your help in that last battle. As you well know, I'm perfectly capable of commanding the army by myself. However, when you're around, it's somehow different. I'm not sure I can properly explain it. I suppose your perspective on the battlefield is simply sharper than mine. When you're devising tactics and tricks for us, it's almost as though you can read the enemy's mind. There's no getting around it. Your talent for strategy far exceeds my own. I'm quite jealous, in all honesty. Is that a fact? Well, if you insist. I suppose a flower from another's field is always more beautiful. I'll admit, I think of you as rather detached, so to hear that you have emotions such as jealousy is something of a relief. Oh, but you are. Don't even try to argue. But I suppose I'm much the same. I've also distanced myself from the ordinary world. Friends. That word somehow doesn't seem adequate. Besides, we've been friends for a long time, you and I. By now, we're so much more than that, at least in my mind. You know, instead of Edelgard, you can call me just Elle, if you so please. That's what my parents and closest sisters used to call me when I was little. Now there's no one left who calls me Elle. But with you, well, I think I could allow it. In fact, it would mean a great deal to me. Why? Well, you have stood beside me and shared my burdens. As I said, you are much more than a friend. In truth, you are like family to me. I suppose that's why. There. We must rethink the supply route now that the battle lines have moved. This one will be Hubert, and Count Burgleys will oversee this force here. Ah, Professor, is something wrong? Sorry, I thought I had a bit more time before the council meeting. No bother at all, but I'm afraid I'm not quite finished here. Still, I'm happy to see you. Your presence lightens my mood a great deal. Now, let's see.
Pardon, Your Majesty. An urgent matter.
What's happened?
There is an army from Elmira at Fodlan's throat. Reports indicate it is of appreciable size. A steep mountain range runs along the border between Fodland and Elmira. That mountain range is called Fodlan's Throat. The sturdy fortress built within those mountains is called Fodlan's Locket. It occupies the sole path through. The Church and the Alliance nobles built the locket to safeguard against Elmiran invasion.
Normally, House Goneril watches over the fortress. In times of trouble, the lords join together to protect it. But I assume it would be too difficult to defend against this incursion with only the troops of Goneril.
The situation has been precarious for House Goneril since Holst fell ill.
Holst is a formidable commander. It's only logical that House Goneril would struggle in his absence. The Alliance is shattered. They can't request soldiers from the surrounding wards. And the Imperial troops stationed there can't be relocated so easily. The best course of action is for us to go out there and deal with this ourselves. It's critical for us to protect that location. This is our chance to prove that we won't allow it to fall.
Yes. It is to the benefit of our future governance not to abandon it. It seems this must be done. Will you assist us?
We'll depart after you finish making preparations. Move swiftly. We must move before the Elmiran army crosses the throat.
Yep. So apparently it doesn't matter what path you pick. Holst gets sick no matter what. Alright. Well, that'll be a thing. Oh boy. Just when you think everything's good to go, you just... I don't know. So... Wow, they've got a... Oh! Hey, Nadir. That's different. Okay, so this actually looks like a sizable army that we have to fight. Fantastical. I guess if, like that, if you wanted to steal that... It's got a tomahawk, too. Seraphro, goddess icon. Alright. There is stuff I forgot to fix real quick. You are going to take the Immortal Core, because you're a Falcon Knight. And I'll have him take the... Well, do I? If I want to go for... That's actually not that bad. That's the thing, I really like the Keyhole Wyvern Co. They're actually pretty good. And they have no negatives either, so that's also a doubly good thing. However, -5 avoid, plus 5 protect. That -2 magic, slightly bit of a problem because he does. I am having him use magic. I mean, granted, it's not by much. Crit. Oh, this adds 20. Okay. Also, there's that gambit that I always forget exists. Alright. We'll go for Keyhole. You're still a Wyvern Rider, that's gonna change. Okay, so not gonna bring you. Not bringing you. I want Linhardt. And there's a very loud vehicle outside, I'm sorry. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. You know what, fine, I'll bring Yaritza. I do, however, want to make sure I bring Bernadetta, because good grief, she's such a low level. I wonder why. I do need to also fix some of this other stuff going on here. Actually, it wouldn't be that bad if she had that. Alright. Wouldn't be the worst. Have Leone hang out with you. Oh. My bad. Yeah, I need to get Marianne high level 2 for this. Good grief. High enough level anyway. No. Those items. My bad. What's the +3 protect? No wait? Okay. I did get her unlocked for a Valkyrie class. That's why I'm kind of like, it's not the worst idea to give her that, but she still has to master Warlock right now. So, I'll leave it at that. Put that up. Let's have, like, this side covered by the flyer. Oh, probably not a good idea to have the flyers that way. This way? Yeah, it seems to be more in favor of this side. Although it doesn't really matter to, Caspar. And who all has a adjuvant? Alright, the three of you. So the three of you do definitely need to go outside. I think this will be fine. I say that and I don't know for sure. But let's go ahead and get this thing started.
It seems we made it in time. Let's help the soldiers of House Goneril withdraw. The Black Eagle Strike Force will protect Fodlan's Locket.
Support! We're saved!
Reinforcements? And that flag belongs to the Imperial Army! Ha! A fine enemy indeed! Break through the locket and make a name for yourself. No need to be shy. Strike all at once!
We fight to protect Fodlan. If the defensive line is broken, we fail. Our enemies are many, but we can use the terrain to our advantage and stop them where they stand.
Do not allow them to capture the defended location. Okay, there's a ballista down there. This is a ballista as well. Alright. Is it C rank? No, D rank. Okay. So decent amount of people probably can't use it. I know he can, because he's got a B. You can actually use the one up here. How about that?
I will prevent.
We'll have you fly up this way. We'll have Hubert head up. As far as going south,
Ready for anything. What's my strategy? I'm awake.
let's do a few things here.
More fighting.
Well, that could happen, but you know, I could also just do this. Yo, Professor, you want to go into the front lines and make sure everyone that tries to attack us is dead? Yeah? Alright, good.
Another victory.
Alright.
Put me in there.
I'm gonna have you head down this way.
Why not?
Happy, you can head south. You can head over there.
Sunshine.
Yeah, Candace. You dance for Happy here
Thanks.
to give her a little bit more movement. Also, the boom in stats is also a good thing. Alright.
I'm in.
Actually, I'm gonna have you head down this way. And Edelgard will head down this way. I don't see this being a difficult one, but, well, you can never tell. Oh, you have no chance of hitting, and you have a 100% guarantee of dying. Why'd you do that?
All is going to plan.
Just saying, it's a bit ridiculous to go about that in that manner.
It's just no good.
Probably you'd be better if I actually trained you. Sorry, Bernie. I just don't really care for you all that much. Oh no, you have a slightly less chance of dying, but, well, you know, that's gonna happen anyway.
This could
I
turn
probably
tides.
should actually try a little bit. This is why I put it on maddening, because of stuff like this, but then it goes insane and it made it no fun. So, I don't know.
Maybe this will help me.
I will say, maddening, it legitimately makes you kind of, I wouldn't say get paranoid about it, but you have to level up so much for that mode, just because of how crazy it is. Yeah, be that.
Winning is what matters.
The more we can get rid of these monsters, the better.
Feels like fighting is all there is.
Alright. What other... I guess, yeah, those two. I'm sitting here thinking, what in the world? How many enemies are going after her? And it's like, oh, okay.
Here is something to believe in.
Get out of here.
All is going to plan.
I've had enough of it. Alright.
My joke of a
Not
life
bad,
drags
not
on.
bad at all.
That's
Although that
certainly
dex
satisfying.
needs to go up. I wish that dex was higher than it actually is. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Also, yeah, I can't change it if she's in that. Alright, well. Jeez, alright. Can you do something about it, dude? I mean, kind of.
Hope you're ready.
Okay, yeah, you are.
Who's next? Get in line.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, the difference in that. Let's have you over here. Yeah, you don't actually have any real place right there. Gonna make sure you take a bit of a hit there. However, see, this is where I have a problem. Why does Yuritsa suck? Just gonna be honest. For crying out loud.
For myself, for everyone.
If we have more people like Petra here, it's just like a slaughterhouse. But no. We have to deal with people like Yuritsa.
So,
I mean, it's whatever. Okay, we got a ton of you heading around. Nothing too crazy, really. And that shield is so helpful. Wish I had more than one of them. I probably should give her a Hexlock shield, to be honest. That would probably be a good idea. Wow, you actually hit me. Well, hit Constance, but yeah. Same difference at this point. She's part of the army. The army that's completely insane. Alright, well, let's just move on.
Try to play my part. I know just the thing.
Can we not have giant birds just causing a bunch of problems for everybody? I thought that this was something that was just, you know, sensible. But apparently not. Jeez, really? Can I do... Almost. That almost works. Not quite. But this does. Oh, you gotta be joking. Ah, for love. You're attacking him again? I mean, okay. I'm just gonna punch this bird. I don't think that was needed, but you know what? It's fine. Yeah. Because I know I want to see if Edelgar can actually go to him.
must leave them
The silver the silver the silver shield is way better. Well, not way better, but really? Ferdinand, why do you have to suck so much? I'm sorry, but I just, ugh. I want Ferdinand to work, and it looked like he might be in some aspects, but, ugh. Others, nah, not really. I think Dorothea would be working better if I got her through her class a lot better, to where she was already a higher class than just a warlock.
A boon for our future.
But I might just be... I don't know if that's just wishful thinking or what. Alright. It's... yeah, Hexlock's shield. Okay. It's an additional weight. Provides 2 less protection, but it provides 4 resilience, which is something she does need. And okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, her avoid. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it provides a good bit of protect and resilience, charisma, physical and magical attack, not too bad. Some hit, but you get lower avoid. So she's actually pretty good as far as having just... okay. And that goes from that, yeah. That's incredibly good as far as having defensiveness. Because his is 17. His is 15. So, the fact that she has in the 30s for both is actually pretty good. Alright. Well, let's get rid of this guy.
Give the goddess my regards, yeah?
No, we're not doing drawback.
I have a strategy.
Have all the arrows. That sounds like a good idea. Sorry. Been keeping an eye on some things. Anyway. Not important. Well, not important for the video. I mean, seriously? Caspar, you apparently are the crowd favorite when it comes to people attacking you. I'm sorry. Whoa, what? How? I know they've got range, but what? Okay. I thought that was a lot longer of a range you were shooting from. Alright.
Better you than me.
You get to go away permanently.
All this violence. And for what? I take nothing for granted. Oh, and now, I guess it's because Happy's there.
But it's like, oh yeah, we're totally gonna like dish out a ton of damage.
Only I shall know how you died here.
Maybe it wasn't that as much more. I don't know. Golly.
You're all going down.
He's a wyvern knight, but yet he's doing more punching than anything else.
Strain myself.
Who would have thunk? Yeah, it's fine. Just use a rapier to finish that dude off. Alright. What's your thing? Okay. That's what I thought. Let me do this.
It won't be in vain.
No time for acclimates.
Oh, I was slightly off, my bad. Yeah, we'll have you sit there. I guess Resonance Lightning is fine.
Marvel at our strength.
Alright. How about I use a bow while on... Well, Pegasus. Yeah, it's a Pegasus. You know, it says Falconite. It doesn't change the horse's species. Alright, there's a lot of Wyvern Knights. That's a lot of Wyvern Knights.
Thanks for helping.
You have rescue, you don't have... So we'll do that to give her an extra turn. Well, extra... do a second turn of moving? I don't know where I was going with that exactly. But alright, let's just move on. Yay, everyone gets a heal. Is everyone good? Good. We're good to go, and we can dish out all the damage. Not having to worry about things.
This is my stage now.
Your timing's spot on.
Alright.
No time for pity.
Well, at least you got a level up, Mary.
I feel a little stronger.
Well, you should. Didn't take much there. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, I can't get everyone up to par in one go. That would make things a bit more ridiculous. I don't think I would ever have gotten done.
Once I've decided you're done, you're done.
I'll keep pushing myself.
Well, good. As you should. Just don't overdo it. That's where people mess up. It's like, are you sure you want... No? Alright. If you're that sure you want to attack her. Not quite.
Child's play.
Each battle a victory.
Yeah, this would be fine. I don't see why not at this point. Okay, so... yeah, just equip that. And... pull off an assist.
Back to the fray.
I'd like you to go away. That didn't happen, though. Never mind. Gotta make sure that's not going insanely crazy.
Winning is what matters.
Well, that works. Let's see what happens. I don't see it going horrible. Yeah, we're fine. Ferdinand has some decent defense, despite me kind of ragging on him.
I'm continuing to improve.
Alright, Miriam, what do you get?
I won't let this hold me.
Not much. Oh, well, that's really unfortunate.
Will anyone?
Rest doesn't really matter at this point. Especially if Constance died. Alright.
More fighting.
Let's do this again. Because nothing else makes sense.
For the Empire.
Ready for anything.
Alright,
Put me in.
Caspar, you go mounted. Then you are going to fly down this way.
Sunshine.
I'm gonna have Constance then.
Why not?
Yeah,
I assume a stray
That's
arrow
better.
finished it.
This could turn the tides.
the hit twice is bad, but the attack twice is bad, but hey. I guess as long
All the
as
strength I have.
Ferdinand stays
I won't let this.
I don't know. Ferdinand, I don't know what to do with you, dude. I really don't.
Thank you.
Get out of here.
Let's keep up the pace.
I'm awake. What's my strategy? No hesitation. Another victory.
I need to eventually fix that sword. That would be very beneficial.
I will prevail. Witness frigid pride.
Alright. We got that going for us.
I'm in.
Let's see. This is probably going to be better. Yeah, the fact that I can take care of it that way is way better. Rather than have to worry about
Whatever gets me by.
relying on
Let's put it.
Understood.
I'll cut a bloody path.
do we have the ability? Yes, we do.
Imagine being defeated.
Also, she used the Crest of Noah, so we got another bolting behind us, which is fantastic. Oh, for a moment there, I thought she critted. I was like, what? But no, she didn't. It was just a weird delay and all that. Also, 30 damage? Jeez, that's a lot of damage. I can never think of that again in the same way because that flex tape commercial. Golly. It's just such the... It's one of those things, it's just burned in my mind. I think it's been like so many years since I've ever seen a commercial for that. Alright, let's get rid of you.
Winning is what matters.
Wait, why was that only one? No, no, she seriously only got one class experience for that. It's always supposed to be 2. Alright, game, are you trying to pull some shenanigans? I'm not okay with that.
Same old.
See, she got 2. What the heck is with that one nonsense? Alright, Alright. Can Ferdinand do something? Kinda not really. Oh no, he can. Alright. Just
for our future.
totally proved me wrong there. Alright.
That was fun to watch.
He's like, how dare you keep insulting me? I mean, it's not like it's not warranted. Alright, Ferdinand, don't get that upset. Alright, Lenhart. Let's do this.
Don't expect any sympathy.
Oh, it's only him? Well, that's unfortunate. What? I shouldn't be too surprised. Alright. Let's get rid of you.
Here it goes. Flame spirit, protect me.
What a bother.
Your sword is fit to cleave a mountain in two. Care to try it out against the undefeated Nadir?
I'm fine with that fight. Alright, Marianne, keep leveling up, please.
I want to learn even more.
Don't think less of me for this.
Okay, first but it's not fun. It was gonna be. Oh, wow, Ferdinand.
No time for pity.
What's with these crits, dude? You really are trying to prove me wrong. You're trying to make me look bad for saying you suck. I mean, I'm not entirely wrong by that, but
If I live, I fight.
trying to make it seem like I'm a terrible person.
I feel a little stronger.
Alright, that's not bad.
Your death is not in vain.
Wasn't that bad of a match, honestly. It took that. Oh, really? Gosh. This fight's taken in almost an hour. Alright.
Allow me to demonstrate. So this is how far I go. Unbelievable. What a scary moment.
I mean, I guess you're talking about Edelgard.
Seems like fighting's all I do these days.
No matter how many times you attack, we will never allow you to capture the throat.
Oh!
The Almiran troops are difficult opponents. For now, I would much rather focus. I hope they don't mount another attack anytime soon.
Oh, what? I skipped through that a little bit. Sorry.
Why, thank you so much.
The Almiran army retreated. Their casualties were numerous. As I understand it, they won't be attempting another invasion anytime soon. Still, we must prepare the local troops before their enemy returns. That is my hope. I would even consider a treaty. Unlike Fodlan, Almira is not a land ruled by blind fealty to the goddess. I believe we need only to communicate openly with them and respect the differences between our cultures. If we do that, we should be able to have a meaningful dialogue with them, one more promising than what we can expect from followers of the goddess. Ah, Hubert. What did Duke Goneril say?
He expresses his sincere gratitude to Lady Edelgard. In addition, he would like to leave the protection of the throat to Imperial troops from now on.
Is that so? How reasonable of him. By the way, what was it that ailed Holst?
I did not hear all the details, but apparently he ate some bad mushrooms. It is said he is now emaciated and pale, and his skin exudes a mysterious vapor.
Huh. I can't help but imagine what that must look like. but it's probably better not to think about it.
Agreed. Do not worry yourself with such thoughts.
Indeed. Well, then maybe you should pay a visit. And then you could tell me what it looked like.
Okay. That was just too weird of a reaction, to be honest. Since I'm still training Leone, Bernie's getting closer to it, but since I'm still training 3 people required for this stuff, we're gonna go ahead and do this one.
Why, thank you so much.
Professor, you're here. No. But while you are here, you may as well listen. I am sure you recall hearing about Kranya, Solon, and Lord Arundel. I'm investigating their true identities. I want to know their origins, their numbers, their base of operations, their plans. I want to know where they acquired their dark powers, how they disguise themselves. Many intriguing mysteries surround these people. Wouldn't you agree? I have a name for them. Those who slither in the dark.
Lord Hubert, pardon me, but Lord Arundel is at the monastery. He says he wants to discuss something with you and is waiting in the reception hall.
Speaking of, Professor, would you come along?
Hubert, I have something I must request of you.
Request? That is an unusual word choice. A request by definition can be refused. But if you have orders, Regent, I will follow them.
Such a reaction before you even hear me out. Very well. One of my subordinates was conducting experiments in the sealed forest. The demonic beast he was using ran wild and has created something of a situation. Take care of it.
Experiments, you say? Very well. I will set out at once. Professor, will you assist? Thank you for your support. It is a great help.
I mean... Alright, Hubert. This is gonna be a thing, ain't it? We're just gonna kind of be very nonchalant about all this nonsense, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, yeah, this is something. The amount of emotion this man has in his voice is astounding. Wait. Oh, wow, you're really spread out. Jeez. Okay. Wait, are we supposed to protect them? No? Okay. I was gonna say, if we have to, I guess I'll stomach it, but since it's not necessary, I'm not gonna worry about it. Hubert, oh no. Hold on. Happy's up here. Okay, I think these 4 can take the monsters. These 3 can probably take some of the monsters. And then... yeah, those 3 can take them. Alright. As far as where everyone is. Actually... Yuri, I would like you to have Bernadetta. Ferdinand, I need you to take Mercedes with you. Not Mercedes, Marianne. Jeez. I think we're good. As far as that's concerned, I do need to repair.
Is that the
This
one?
definitely
Thanks a
needs
bunch.
repair. That
Is
needs
that
repair.
thanks a bunch? Come back.
Happy, get rid of that. Get rid of the bow.
Well, is that the one? Thanks a bunch.
Wait. I'm confused. Where?
Is that the one?
Steel gauntlets. Oh, it's repairing it, not forging it. That's why I was confused. I was like, wait, what's going on here?
Is that thanks a bunch?
Okay, so... Yeah, you still need... You need a lot for that. You might as well just buy them, honestly. And we don't have arcane crystals yet. We do have enough to make the Perithra.
Is that the one? Thanks a bunch. Is that thanks
Let's
a
do
bunch?
that.
Is that the one?
Let's make it
Thanks a
that.
bunch.
Steel axe. Bunch of iron. I do have a tomahawk. I thought I didn't. That's my bad.
Is
Yeah,
that the
let's
one?
force the Perithra.
Thanks a bunch. Is that thanks a
Give me
bunch?
a killer bow. Bow of Zoltan. All the crazy stuff,
Is that thanks a bunch?
Yeah. There we go. Forging's like fixing the stuff that was in disrepair. Kind of helpful.
Is that thanks a bunch? Is that thanks a bunch?
Repair that. Oh, you need that stuff. Oh gosh. All right.
Come back.
And replenish.
Come back.
Deposit that. Oh yeah. You are good to go. I would much rather you have the marching right now. Trade. I'm gonna give you the knowledge gem. You're close, and I'd much rather you actually be able to take care of that. That being said, let's go ahead and get this thing started.
Looks like this forest became infested with demonic beasts while we weren't looking. I suppose we've not a moment to lose. Not that I'm concerned for any of these people, but since there may be a reward in it for us, we may as well do what we can to rescue them.
Because of course. Alright.
Now then, let's split up and move in to assist. It may be worth focusing your attention on those being targeted by multiple demonic beasts.
Well,
what's my strategy?
I don't think they do magical attacks, so I'm not going to worry about that.
Why not?
I'm going to use Swarm.
I'll cut a bloody path.
For the Empire.
Alright.
I'm in.
Nice. Just what I needed. Crest Evolver activating.
I've got this.
I have a plan. Sunshine.
Sorry, it's just looks something weird going on. Something bit me on my ankle and I didn't realize it.
Shall have impact.
What in the world? Yeah, I don't see anything there. I don't know why. Don't know what's going on there. Alright. Well, this guy's definitely being targeted by more than one.
Put me in there.
I almost want to take the attitude of do I have to.
Ready for anything.
Alright, well, not fantastic, but... Oh yeah, since you have Marianne, yeah, you're fine. You'll get healed when you need it.
More fighting.
What was that crest for again? I forget. The mount of magic attacks. Okay.
Allow me.
Fine. How about this?
That's the thing. There's so many different, Oh gosh.
I think I'm improving.
Wait, my brain just went blank on me. What was I about to say? My bad. Never mind. You want to try it? Oh. Ow. That's just rude. Maybe that is a magic attack and I'm just not really understanding that. I don't know. When it comes to magic attacks and whatnot from monsters, I kind of just somewhat, not completely, but I kind of somewhat just tune out because it's just that annoyingly weird to keep track of all of it. But I think those guys, the dragon ones, they have a magic attack. I
This is
forget.
our chance.
I was about to say, are you that suicidal? Don't answer that, because the answer is yes, you are. Alright. Oh, really? I don't get the special thing because you broke it, you dingus. I'm clearly more worried about getting items from doing this rather than saving these guys' lives, because I really don't care. Oh no. The Ember Steel. See, stuff like that. I want that more than whatever is, I don't know, whatever nonsense is going on with this. Yeah, let's do that.
It's time.
Well, Leonie got it level up. She needed that.
I'll keep pushing myself.
I think when it...
I'll try.
And honestly, what... a lot of this is just seriously going to depend on whether or not...
I know just the thing.
I get through this in a timely manner as far as getting through this path. But I think I will play through it again. Not that you guys would see any of it, but but actually get some better like this, just essentially have better characters with better stats. Are you serial? For the love. I forgot to look. Is that a magic attack? Doesn't say. Well, since it says 33, I would assume it's probably going off of physical. Because that creststone is 10. Yeah, it's a physical attack. There we go. Okay, there's a big guy over there. And of course, the monster destroyer herself. Alright. Go ahead and take out all the demonic beasts. We're gonna have you receive an additional move here. What? Cast bar. glad I actually saw that.
I'm in. Use what you have.
How about just break the entirety of that?
I finally made it my own.
There we go. They seriously healed every turn? Jeez. Just a slight move. Alright. You're dead, and I am not carrying. That's your own dang fault, you dumb mage. You're not that much different. It's like, let's use the one spell that guarantees that we're gonna get doubled. Jeez. You mages are dumb, no wonder you have a problem on your hands. Like, how in the world did you ever fight the church effectively? It's for the love. You people are garbage. Let's get that shield off of you. Got another Umbra Steel, which is good. There's that. Okay. Mystic Blow doesn't do as much. Sagittate's probably the one that has the best chance, honestly. Nice! I picked the right one. And she also used the Crest of Noah, so she can still keep using it. Not that that's necessary, but hey. Alright, now for you... Yeah, I need to get his attention again. Also maybe knock whatever possibility of him doing anything down by a significant amount. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but you never know. Alright. No. It's fine. Yeah, just punch the bird. Or the dragon bird thing. I don't know. It's just annoying. Just punch it. Except this isn't the Millennium Falcon and we ain't Chewie. So, anyway. Yeah.
It's life or death.
Remember when Star Wars wasn't painted by ridiculous Disney nonsense? I remember those days. Those were great. I'm just talking about nonsense at this point because it's just it's literally fighting giant monsters, and they're not the worst thing in existence to fight. Right? They're kind of meh at best.
Require aid?
We won't hold back.
Here we go. An Umbra Steel, which is good. We're getting a bunch of those. And Caspar.
And I'll keep getting
Dude,
stronger.
his stats are getting real good. I mean, normally if he's just being like a grappler type or like the armor type, a lot of his stats are pretty bad. But the fact that he's got good dex, speed, strength, and defense, and pretty decent charm, he's not that bad at all. He's better than usual other runs. And oh gosh, this is gonna be not good. How about you get healed? I'm not gonna draw aggro. Oh no, 5 damage. Ferdinand is so scared. Sorry. Oh no, you dumb idiot. Oh, you dumb idiot mage. Oh, for the love. Not that I actually care. At least 3 are still alive. Maybe that'll stay the case. I don't know. Nor do I actually care. If these mages weren't completely dumb, then that might actually have been something fantastic. But these mages are actually dumb. Yo, happy. What's it looking like? Oh yeah, just do a Hades.
All this violence, and for what?
Meteor. Does a decent amount of damage too. Oh, Ferdinand ain't having it.
What a disgrace to be saved by those fools.
No. Your tools, I gather.
Wait, what?
Yes, I suppose we will take them off your hands, since you asked so nicely.
A shimmering magical lance crafted using ancient technology. Oh. Probably would have gotten more than that, but since 2 of them died. I will say, one thing I do think is kind of bunk is not... I feel like you should be able to take some of the stuff, like the weaponry and stuff that you could only...
Casualties.
Oh.
You were not as helpful.
Oh,
as I
piss
had thought.
off.
I'm not criticizing you. This failure is my own for thinking you were capable of more. It seems gratitude is in order. Let us meet again soon.
Good riddance. What a nuisance that man is. He and his ilk must be aware of my investigation. No doubt this was all an attempt to make us believe we are powerless against them. It has only achieved the opposite effect.
Mind explaining that?
They are looking down on us. They think we cannot touch them, but the closer we get to them, the less true that becomes. Just look at this weaponry we received as a token of their appreciation. It would be impossible for us to manufacture such a piece with our current tools and knowledge. It is not as powerful as a relic, but it is nearly so. We will keep them close for now, while we still need their strength to rule Fodlan. Once Fodlan is united, however, the focus of this war will shift. Rather than swords clashing on the battlefield, it will be knives cutting in the darkness. Lady Edelgard's war will be over, and House Vestra's will begin. We who rule the shadows will eradicate those who slither in the dark. When that time comes, Professor, you will be quite useful to us.
Alright, okay. That's one of those weird moments where, like, I actually like Hubert. Because it's like, you know what? I actually see eye to eye with you on this. That's a magic lance. Jeez. Honestly, that would actually work well with him if I could actually get his... Oh, that might not be too bad for you, since you're actually kind of close to it. I know, she can already use it, but it's a magical lance, so I'm assuming it goes off of... let's see. Yeah, I assume it's going off of magic rather than anything else. That weight, though, jeez. Ah, because of an A lance needed. What level is Bernadetta? 21? She seriously needs some help. Hey Dorothea, would you mind... yeah, no, I just need you to trade with her. Hand that to her. And I want you to go grab... that. Because we're reclassing you. We'll see how this works for her.
Guess I'll have to learn something new.
I think that'll be helpful for her. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be back. I see what I can do for this month, because it says 426 is the limit for those. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more that show up as time goes on. I don't know exactly to what extent, but we'll see. Anyway, see you guys in a bit.
Gardening with you is a lot of fun, Lady Edelgard.
I feel the same. You know so much about it, Bernadetta.
I looked after flowers a lot back home. I like them. They don't talk, they don't get angry, they don't hit you. And they're sweet.
They are sweet. Unlike people, they can all be trusted on sight.
You're sweet too, Lady Edelgard. I mean, not sweet, but, you know what I mean. You can talk or even get angry all you want.
Well, I'll strive to avoid getting angry.
You're really kind. I'm less scared of you than I used to be. Most nobles are terrifying. I've had lots of bad experiences with them. But getting the chance to talk to you like this makes me glad I came to the monastery.
I'm glad too. You made quite a few friends at the academy, didn't you? I had heard rumors about the reclusive daughter of House Varley, but you're nothing like I imagined.
Rumors? About me? Just pretend you didn't hear anything.
There's no need to be embarrassed. Rumors are meaningless. All that matters is the truth.
You're right. I'm not really a recluse now anyway. Not since I came to the monastery. I won't let the rumors bother me.
I'm happy to hear it. Actually, I should thank you.
Thank me? What for? Wait, do you mean you need to thank me for all the times I've made you mad? You do, don't you?
That mind of yours. No, I mean the grateful sort of thanks. Before I met you, I was more prone to anger, but now I've changed in that regard. So, thank you for that. Oh, I suppose you're not listening.
Oh, I'm done for! 5 years' worth of resentment is about to crash down on me all at once! Ah!
It's okay, Bernadetta. I'm thanking you, not attacking you.
Oh, I jumped to conclusions again, didn't I?
You did, yes. But don't worry about it. Enough talk, don't you think? Let's take care of these sweet little plants.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Bernadetta, I hope you'll keep spending time with me.
Of course I will. Hey, look! This flower's just about ready to bloom.
So it is. I can't wait to see its true colors.
Hubert, I have a request to give you, if I may be doing that.
Hello, Petra. How unusually formal.
You are always comparing me against Edelgard. I have been observing you, and you are not often making comparisons like that. So why are you always comparing me? I do not enjoy being compared.
An astute observation. I should point out that such a comparison only reflects well on you. I am perhaps doing so because you are both royalty.
That is not making sense to me. In battle, you and I are the same. Neither of us has a higher rank than general. Edelgard is leading the entire army. But you and I are both leading a part of the army. That should be making us... what is it? Comrades in arms.
Comrades in arms, you say?
When you are looking at me, you are thinking of me compared to Edelgard. But I want you to be looking at me as only myself. Do you have understanding? I do not want you seeing me as foreign royalty, but as your comrade in arms, who is working with you at your side.
I understand you now. It seems I've done you a great disservice, Petra. Your friendship is important to me. I am sorry that I failed to make that clear. By comparing you to Lady Edelgard, I have treated you merely as one chasing after her shadow. I have done so even while believing that the Empire and Bridget would never go to war again.
Do you really think you can stop comparing? I am knowing well that Edelgard takes a big place inside your heart.
I do not fully understand it. But when I look at you, I simply cannot help but think of Her Majesty. Your past, full of hardship, your unwavering determination, your uncommon excellence. As such, I cannot promise never to compare you. But I will try my best to do so less often.
For now, that will be okay. But I will not be giving up on this. And I want you knowing that one day, when you are comparing, you will be finding I have won the comparison.
What an amusing thing to say. Lady Edelgard's face would contort most bitterly were she to hear it.
Be marking my words, Hubert. One day, between the two of us, you will be choosing me.
Are you enjoying this lovely day, Dorte? Everyone seems to be in such good spirits.
Marianne, do you have a moment?
Oh, Ferdinand.
What do you need?
I have been thinking about what you said.
I didn't mean to upset you. You should just ignore me and...
You misunderstand. It is not that you upset me. Honestly, you mystify me. You are a noble, and yet you do not wish to be one. Is that not so? I did not expect to hear that from the daughter of Margrave Edmund.
But I'm not actually his daughter. He's a distant relative. We share very little of the same blood.
But still, you come from a noble lineage, do you not?
Oh, no. I'm just a minor noble from the countryside.
Minor though it may be, you were born into a noble family, which means you are a noble too. We did not choose to become nobles. We were born into the nobility.
I understand, but that's why I said I don't care to be responsible. I had no say in the matter.
Marianne,
My parents and I have suffered because of this bloodline and crest. Even so, I am prepared to do what I must, as the daughter of a noble family. But to be told that's still not enough, I just...
I see. I will not pretend to understand, but you should try to calm down a bit. Certainly, things did not turn out the way you had hoped, but the conditions are such that...
The conditions? Those will never change. There's nothing to do but give up. Please just leave. Ignore me.
There will be no convincing you. Very well. I will go.
Oh, Goddess. Why did you curse me with such suffering?
So this was interesting. Apparently, this is the paralogue between Linhart and Leone. And this is something that he said. It's interesting. I don't know. It's just like, oh, I guess we should leave Edelgard and Hubert out of this because, well, it might be a bit of a problem if they find out.
I'm not fond of keeping secrets from friends, but I guess we can tell them when we get back. All right, let's go find this thing.
So yeah, it's pretty much some of the stuff is just the same, but it's like, oh, we're with Edelgard. We probably should say things or not say things, or like in the case with An, you have Yuritsa show up and personally take care of the sketchy merchant. I can never remember how to pronounce the dude's name, but there you go. I think that would be it, personally. Yeah, and... Oh, hey, here's the immovable. So, there we go with that. And I'm guessing, as far as things go, yes, both of them are unavailable. Who would have thought? Alright, well, that's all. I just wanted to share that. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so this actually makes a little bit more sense. Instead of actually dealing with the Imperial Army, you're actually dealing with the Church of Serios. Okay, I guess. I mean, it's different, and not much. I guess the only real big difference is the allegiance of who you're fighting rather than anything too significant. And it kind of makes sense that, hey, the church is attacking Bridget. But, that honestly was the biggest question I had about it, but, that question was definitely answered, so. Oh. Yeah, I need to take care of that. Anyway, I'll see you guys when we come back for the chapter, the bit. And the chapter bit, really, dude. When we come back to do the chapter mission. Anyway, see you guys in a little bit.
Must be moving quickly.
So, Catherine instead of Hubert is the boss in this. Okay. That's a thing. I wasn't expecting Catherine to show up. I mean, I guess I should have, because she's with the church, so it's whatever, I guess.
Witness frigid pride. Your spirit is admirable.
I'm gonna do this. Anyway. I just did not expect that, and I think I'm gonna have to rewind just because all of a sudden, hey, guess what? There's a ton of people here. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Oh, I thought there was gonna be a cutscene there. Alright. Do I want to go for Wyvern Lord? I'm kind of honestly just wanting to stay as an Enlightened one, just for the stats, but again, I'm trying to do I'm trying to do different things. Jeez. Oh, 96% for both of those? Yeah, I know we started this in the last path, but we never finished it. Let's actually do it this time.
I've set my...
You still haven't finished it. You did, but there's nothing else you can really become. For the love. Really? A B plus axe or... Dude, wait. That's a C plus, okay. And then an A writing. Well, the writing's not bad. A heavy armor is a C, that's probably why. I'll have to figure out what else I could turn him into, because he needs to be something different. I might actually, just because... that actually would take a while, though, but I might actually try that. Just to have something along with it. You mastered yours. 48. %, chance. Good grief. You know what? Go for broke. Let's actually try it. Oh my gosh, he actually got it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll change him into it. She's a Valkyrie. She's fine. Happy, you're a Drummery. You have mastered the thing, but what would it take? Oh, a lot more brawl, that's for sure. Jeez. You're at a C brawl? You would need to be a B plus to even try to pass it? Jeez. Yeah, sure, why not? Give it a shot. I'm not using dance a whole lot. I mean, I was doing the punching stuff. Okay, that was a definite need, even if I don't change her into it. Yeah, we'll do it though. She won't be able to do punching anymore, but that's fine. Jeez. 80% chance, that's a lot better. You're still a long ways off, dude. Jeez Louise. I don't really see anything else she could be. As far as Hubert goes, I'm kind of just stuck with this. He's still working on that. And for the love game. Did I give... Yes, I did give him the knowledge gem, so at least he'll get through it faster. Ugh. Let's finish all that. Also, no. This. Alright, yeah, you need that repaired. You also need your axe repaired. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can give her a better sword. Yeah. Got her a better sword. Okay, yeah, so increased crit by 20, increase crit by with sword by 10. That's gonna be fun to use. I don't think he would even need it. We could do that. I'm just gonna be a little bit ridiculous right now because I want to. Now is he ever not going to crit? The answer may stun you. Okay, you have a training axe. Like, there's no point in you having an axe at all. Oh, that's right. I want to look at your certifications.
Was there ever any...
I guess at some point I may have probably tried to look into doing... like, having him do warrior so he could get the death blow would actually be a pretty good idea. But I'm kind of off and on with using him as a character, so I don't know. What's support? Good grief, we got a ton of supports. So, let's watch these.
Here again, I see.
Of course, Your Majesty. I couldn't investigate this place freely when those of the church were around.
Understandably. Now, about my proposal to create an institution for Crest and Relic research. I've decided to move forward with it. As for who will lead the charge...
You want me to be in charge of the thing after all, don't you?
Actually, no. I was just considering some conditions for whoever applies for the job.
Conditions? What kind of conditions?
To start, I won't allow the position to be a secondary one. That excludes lords who are busy looking after their own territories.
Are you suggesting landholding lords would have no means of applying?
Quite the opposite. I'm looking for applicants with enough passion for the job that they're willing to relinquish any landholding rights they possess. They will be provided with necessities like food, clothing, and housing, but will receive no further compensation. That said, they will be free to take as much time off as they desire.
Do you expect anyone to be interested in such an odd position?
That's my hope.
Have you gone mad? Demanding someone rescind their land rights and then provide no compensation? Even the unlimited time off is a rather discourteous perk to offer. No one would accept room, board, and endless time to research. No one but me. Why must you...
Why must I what?
Why must you understand me so well? I asked you to consider the feelings of those below you. I never expected you to consider mine to this extent.
I told you I'd figure out a way to make use of your talents that you'd find acceptable.
Honestly, no woman has ever gone through this much trouble for me before.
Then have you decided?
Yes, I have. I would be most pleased to accept your offer, Your Majesty.
A summons from Bernadetta? How historic.
I've got something to give you.
Do you? What is it?
A token of apology for all the rude stuff I've said. It's only right. I hope this will help you let go of all the grudges you're probably holding against me.
There are no grudges, but very well. I'll accept it.
You will? Great! Here you go.
Some kind of embroidery. A flower. This is certainly lovely, but why give it to me? It seems like something you would send to a female friend or someone you had romantic feelings for.
But it's, lovely, you said, right? That's why. If you wear it, maybe you'll look less, terrifying.
You would like me to wear this?
You hate it, don't you? I knew it. I knew you'd be angry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Why not? Do I put it here? It really is quite nice. I cannot say that it suits me, but...
No, it does. It looks great on you. Sorry.
Nothing else for it, I suppose. I dislike you laughing at me, but it is preferable at least to you fleeing in terror. Therefore, I will wear this when I am around you in the future.
Really? You will? I'm so glad. But you're sure? You're really sure?
If you're going to question me about it, perhaps I'll change my mind.
No. I believe you. You're a lot less scary with it on.
That is what's most important. Now I suppose it is safe for me to return to my usual strict methods.
No, I'm not ready!
This again.
Marianne, are you not going to pray?
I finished. What is it?
I just wanted to apologize.
It's fine, Ferdinand. You did nothing wrong.
Last time we spoke, I did not quite finish saying what I wanted to say. You say I did nothing wrong, so perhaps you will hear me out this time?
Very well. What is it?
Rather than mourning the way things are, is it not better to accept reality and move forward from there?
Accept and move forward?
Precisely. You curse your heritage and reject your present situation. That makes you gloomy, even despairing. As long as you are held back by that way of thinking, nothing is ever going to change.
What about you? Do you really believe that you accept whatever comes in life?
I do. Come what may, I will never falter. Look at me. I lost my lands, my wealth, my status. I accept this reality, dark as it is.
How?
Well, each person is born with a purpose. We must fulfill that purpose, no matter our circumstances. It imbues our lives with meaning and direction. That is what I believe, anyway. Everyone has something they are meant to accomplish. That is true for nobles, commoners, even bandits.
I see. So that's what you believe. Do you really think it's possible that someone like me has a purpose to fulfill?
Yes, of course.
Oh. I'll give this some serious thought. Thank you, Ferdinand. Your words have deeply moved me.
Is that so? How wonderful. I will pray that you find the answers you seek.
Huh? Caspar? Whatever is he doing here? Oh no. Is he looking for a fight with someone taller than him? The poor boy won't give up.
This is it. Today's my day. Caspar's day. Come get some.
Yes, Caspar, just like that. Just as we practiced. Yes, dodge. Yes. Perfect. Right there. He's open. Punch him right in the... Yes! Caspar, you did it!
And that's how it's done. Woo! And then I got him. Bam! Right in the solar plexus. I really wish you could've... Hey, are you even listening? This is when it starts getting real good.
I'm listening. I am sad to say, however, that the tale is slightly less thrilling the fourth time through.
You should be more excited. We finally won.
We?
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without your advice. You're a strategic genius, Linhardt.
Nonsense. Your strength carried the day. I just rambled on. You're the one who did the actual work. What's really amazing is how you wouldn't give up.
Whoa, I've never heard you compliment me before. Yeah, I don't think I like it. Seriously, though, I couldn't have done it without you. Like you said, I wouldn't give up on fighting, and I'm not gonna give up on this either.
I should have expected that, I suppose. That's just the kind of guy you are, after all. I guess this friendship is something that we can never escape from. Ever.
Are you saying you want to escape from our friendship?
Not at all. Even if I did, our fates would not be so easily untangled.
You got that right. No one can break this bond. Even if we argue and butt heads sometimes, we'll never have to fight it out. And that's a promise.
Understood. I don't desire to fight anyone anyway. This war is the last time I'll set foot on a battlefield.
Well, that makes sense.
Let's you and I come out the other side of this war alive and well, okay? That is a promise worth making.
Definitely. And let's win this thing while we're at it.
Hello, Byrne.
Oh no, what did I do this time? Did I offend you? Is this your revenge?
No, not at all. I just want to talk.
If you promise not to resort to violence, I'll do whatever you want.
Byrne, I've just been worried about you, that's all. When I said I was your friend, you ran away, saying something about your father. Remember?
Vaguely?
I know you've lived through some bad times. If you could tell me about it, maybe I could help?
Oh, I don't know.
Please. Your father's not here now. Whatever it is, you're safe to tell me.
All right. My parents told me never to befriend a commoner. They said commoners are scum, and that they'd crush any that tried to come near me.
Hang on, scum? They called me... commoners. They called us scum?
Yeah, but once, a long time ago, I did secretly make friends with one. A boy. When my father found out about him, he disappeared the very next day. I heard he was found beaten half to death. I never saw him again. Since then, I've been terrified of making friends with anyone. Commoners especially.
I never knew that kind of thing really happened. You hear stories, sure, but... Oh, Byrne, I'm so sorry. I'm proud to be your commoner friend.
Dorothea!
Hey,
relax. There's nothing to bawl about. If your dad tried to beat me up, I'd return the favor and then some.
Return the favor?
When I was in the opera, you better believe I had run-ins with the most wicked, terrible men. I survived kidnappings, attempted murders, all kinds of stuff. But you know what? I broke those guys' arms. Snap! It was a thank you for all the trouble they went through trying to hurt me.
You're incredible, Dorothea.
So, now that you know I can defend myself, can we be friends, Byrne?
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's Leonie.
Perfect. The soil's ready. Let's get to planting.
She's so diligent, I can barely... Oh, look at her elbow.
There we go, all set. Now a little water.
Her sleeve's all torn. She should get that fixed.
Hey, Bernadetta, what are you doing here?
Leonie! I was,
What is it?
I was just admiring your hard work.
If you've got time to stare, you may as well help me out. Is that all you wanted to say?
Not exactly.
Well, come on, out with it.
Oh, it's the elbow.
Your elbow looks fine to me. Is it bothering you?
Not mine, yours. Your sleeve's torn.
Huh, how about that? You're right. I didn't notice. You could have just told me right away, you know. It's just a little tear, though. Nothing to worry about.
If you don't mind, I could fix it for you. It would only take a minute.
You can do that?
I'm actually pretty good at sewing.
I never knew. Well, if you're offering, by all means. Just let me finish watering these. Oh, I guess I should get this shirt off first, though, huh?
What? Hold on, don't... You can't just...
Alright. A lot of silly stuff. Well, we've seen this one. I know that. I don't know about all the other previous ones. Yeah, I know we've seen this one. Because we played the Golden Deer. Of course we see a lot of the house support conversations with each other. Alright. I think that's enough. Oh, we gotta protect Garrick Monk this time around. Alright. They were alluding to something... something? What? Verbal typos. They were alluding like, hey, if Garrick Monk's ever like attacked, we'll totally protect it, kind of a thing. I guess we're actually doing that now. How about that?
Why, thank you so much.
Following the Alliance's defeat, the Black Eagle Strike Force prepares to invade the kingdom. But the kingdom's new allies, the Knights of Serios, begin to make an advance of their own. After appearing in Aelel, the Valley of Torment, and following the border south, the Knights of Serios openly march to recapture the monastery at Garrick Mach.
Sorry about that. Having the worst sinus drainage.
Raid from the north! Their flag bears the symbol of the Knights of Serios. One of our troops has already intercepted them. Your Majesty, please give us your orders.
From the north? Interesting. Could it be they journeyed through Aelel, the Valley of Torment? Is the Archbishop among the enemy ranks? If so, focus our attacks on her first.
Understood.
Our enemy knows Garrick Monk inside and out. They can come and go as they please. It would have been best if we had detected them sooner, but that can't be helped. Professor, we must hurry and intercept them ourselves. I'll leave the preparations to you.
Will do.
The battle looks to be rather cumbersome. We are still guarding all of Garreg Mach, but there are undoubtedly numerous secret passages and magic traps. There is still much about this place that we do not know. It is quite possible they will attack from a location we cannot anticipate.
I must head out first to give my orders. I'll meet up with you soon. Call for General Randolph and General Ladislava. Hurry!
It feels like only yesterday we called this place our home. We must show these fools the error of their ways. They shall pay for the sin of invading Garreg Mach.
Oh, but the professor is fighting alongside our foe. The same one who saved my life.
That is true. Though I find forgiveness difficult, we do owe that wayward soul a debt. However, the fact remains that because of the professor, Rhea has long been tormented. To think that the vessel of the goddess, entrusted with the sword of the creator, could go on to... it angers me to even think of it. All that has happened has changed Rhea. I imagine it has changed the professor as well. Even if we prevail, I doubt that the church can ever fully return to the way it once was.
Brother?
Dear Flame, I only brought you with me because you were so insistent. Still, no matter what happens, you must not go near the front lines. If something were to happen to you, it would utterly destroy me. You are my reason for breathing. Do you understand?
I understand. If something were to happen to you, it would break my heart. I could not go on either. I cannot help but wonder if there is a way to end this without fighting the professor.
Alright. Finally see a very different side of those two. We're used to being on their side, now we're not. It's like, alright, now everything is gonna be very different, so... Not sure what to really make of that. Oof. That's still just rough looking at all of it. Alright. That being said, this... Okay, we've got 11 characters that we can hang out with. Bernie, you're gone. Just, I'm not having you hang out. Oh boy, that would just be bad. Alright, Edelgard. Let me look, because I don't know. Oh, I would have... That's right. You know what? I'm going to do that. Might be one of the more weird ones, but heck, we'll do that. Is there anyone that Hubert hasn't? Shamir. Alright, I guess that makes sense. Okay, Hubert and Edelgard just don't have that A with Ferdinand yet. They don't hang out together all that often, so it's a bit odd. Wait, what did I give her? Oh, the Goneril one. Okay. Okay. Don't need that. Well, yours is kind of low. How about... Yeah, just +2 to the magic. Ferdinand, I need you to... I'll trade for that. Oh, wait a minute. Did you? No, you can't. That's right. I'm gonna trade this for Bowbreaker. Okay, now you're fine, although the Aurora shield doesn't really matter to you specifically, so we'll switch those two. I think we're good. What's your X like? A B+? That ain't too bad, actually. Sure, it's not like anyone else is gonna use a bolt axe. Alright. Just in case I need to do a long range. So I guess maybe that would have been Shamir. I don't know. Seteth, you have the Orchain shield. Of course you do. Oh. Hello, Alois. I'm guessing that would have been Shamir. Okay. You're gonna be actually over here. I'll actually have you hang out with Ferdinand for once. The two of you need to learn how to hang out. You may not like each other, but learn how to like each other. Alright? Let's move on. Defeat all the commanders, Byleth or Edelgard falls in battle, or defend a location captured. Yeah.
We were successful in sneaking up on Garreg Mach. All that's left is to break through past this point.
Lady Rhea and Catherine are holding back most of the Empire's army, thereby leaving us, the Expeditionary Force, free to recapture the monastery.
Our enemies have followed us even here. How unfortunate.
Your Majesty, the enemy's movement is suspicious. They may have some tactic in mind.
If so, then let's face them without delay. Form defensive lines and hold them to the death. Strike down all who approach.
Their troop composition is also strange. I would bet that they are concealing additional soldiers.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they were concealing troops. Alright.
Put me in there.
Really? Not quite.
Sunshine.
I assume a stray arrow finished it.
Robbery with a Lebanon sword, because you can. Alright.
My allies are much worthier.
Why not?
That never stops to just go. Make me go. Ugh. That's right. You're in your depressive mood today. All right. We'll have you head this way, and we'll have Happy start heading that way too. Oh gosh, why would I use a gambit on a barricade for crying out loud? That would be dumb. All right.
I'm awake.
I actually want to do this. I don't know how bad or well or whatever this is going to be, but you know what? We're going to do it.
I'm in.
More fighting.
Really? Is Meteor the only thing that could do enough damage? Really? I don't want to use the better ones right off the bat. It just seems really dumb. Fine. Oh, if you're... Are you gonna... Oh no. Am I in a position of...
What's my strategy?
Oh no. Oh no. Get out of here.
Really wanted to die, huh?
I have a feeling I needed to do that. Oh, that's gonna be garbage later, I bet. So, Ferdinand, what's it like if you do this? Can I actually one-shot the dude? Totally do that.
No time for pity. Greatness awaits me. I'll cut a bloody path.
Oh my goodness. What is with this, like, only 1 HP is going to remain bit? Seriously. Okay. You know what? This is what we're doing.
Not for myself, for everyone.
Yeah, just pull up your...
Appreciate it.
For the Empire.
Which we're going to... Not... not that great. But, alright, that works.
Let's keep up the pace. I must outwit even death.
Alright, Hanneman.
I'm only getting better with it.
Let's do that.
Now. Come at me, so that I may put you out of your misery.
Okay, that went a lot better than I thought it would, so I'm okay with that.
Whatever gets me by.
Okay. Also, that speed that you
The
have
enemy
is
is
insane.
transporting large quantities of flammable material into the woods. They clearly intend to attack us with fire. We should do all we can to prevent it.
Well, how can we prevent that?
Troops waiting in the woods to ambush? We must avoid any suspicious areas as we advance.
Alright. Well, I'm having 2 crazily good individuals take care of that right now, as far as heading over there to prevent them from doing whatever attack they want to do. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have more than one person attack with bolting because I need to actually. Is there? Oh, it's actually much less on the individuals I can target. I thought I could target Eloise, but apparently not. But this is fun. Getting rid of getting rid of somebody over there is going to be beneficial overall. Oh my goodness! I knew it was going to be insane! Oh my gosh! 100% chance of critical! There's no way about it! You're going to go away permanently! Jeez! Oh man, I just wanted to see that. Alright, we're gonna punch.
Here is something to believe in! This could turn the tides.
I knew I was making something insane. I shouldn't be surprised.
The greater good.
I really shouldn't. Because we've got a 40... Is it 40? Yeah, 40 crit weapon. A 20 crit ability with just being a War Master on top of a 10 crit there. So that's plus 60 crit. And then whatever is left. So, wow. I think that's the first time in Fire Emblem, playing a Fire Emblem over how many years now? It's been forever. That I've ever seen that. 100% chance of doing a critical hit. This game. Alright. I'm not a fan of that. You know what? I honestly would much rather do that. But that is actually not ideal, honestly. Can I get something better with this? Kind of, not really. I mean, I won't get hit.
I will win.
Less likely to get hit, I should say. There. Get rid of the sniper.
What
now
did you
we
expect?
have to come at me from the front line. Yeah, alright, well, we'll do a thunder on this guy.
It's win or die. Maybe it's better this way.
Not really better, but, you know, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
That's better. Here we go.
Your death is not in vain.
The time is now. As long as we stand here, you shall not pass.
You fiend, bearing
All right.
ill will against the goddess. This place will be your grave.
Okay, that actually could have hurt pretty bad. Ooh. Well, that's just rude. Alright, where's that sniper going?
Your win.
8, 6, and 1. That's some great combat abilities there. Being slightly facetious. Alright, so, I need to change this. Oh, I meant to change his thing. Ah. That's my bad. Are we gonna, like... Oh, that's still grasslands. I thought I was in the thicket. No. You know what? You can have some Hades. I don't care. I like all shenanigans.
I'm getting used to this.
You're making me look bad.
Linhardt, you're gonna have to stay back. Heal Yuri though.
I appreciate it.
Golly, this movement is abysmal.
Well done.
I want you to do something. It's better than nothing at this point. I don't know if I probably split my forces inefficiently at this point. I was hoping I could have this fixed, but looks like I made a very big mistake in that regard.
There is much to learn.
Oh my gosh. Can I not have the congestion of, like, ridiculousness right now?
Better accept it. Really wanted to die, huh?
Impressive as always.
I'm sorry that this is just, like, being ridiculous. I don't know why I have all the congestion in the world.
This is the cost of war.
Cannot be used by the military. Well, better you just sit on it and no one can use it, so. Alright. Let's do this.
With all of my might!
Each battle a victory.
Oh, man. I don't know how I would actually even get all the way over there at this point. Alright. We got rid of Eloise.
Gerald, I did it. I protected the monastery.
The Axe of Zoltan. Jeez, no chance of hitting. Did you really think you were going to get away with this? Get out.
Another victory.
Very impressive.
Alright. Oh my goodness. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to do this.
Might makes right.
This makes me terribly sad, but this is my duty, to which I must be true.
Ooh. Oh no. Caspar, dude. You gonna be okay? Nope.
Don't blame yourself. It's my fault for being... Put me in there.
Do you... That's probably why. Alright, let's do this instead.
This better work.
I need to remember not to have this gamble on next time. Well, oh gosh, that's not good. I know someone died.
Don't blame your...
And she's actually fine. Alright. Alright, game. Does she move? Yeah, she does move. It's that guy that does the follow-up that's a problem.
Put me in there.
I mean, I would be fine even here at this point from what it looks like. Alright, I'll do that. I actually have better avoid doing that, so yeah, let's do that instead. Let's see what happens.
This makes me terribly sad.
Oh, you're attacking her. Not what I expected. Alright, I mean, that just helps Happy at this point. I don't know if it stacks, but, I mean...
Let's shake things up.
There you go. She has a Tron X right now. Why did you equip that? I get that it is because Hades ran out, but I mean, it's whatever. Yeah, so seriously just moving Caspar to where he was out of this range fixed the whole problem.
More fighting. This is my stage now.
Linhardt should be able to heal.
I'm awake.
Yeah, he can. That's why I didn't do it with Dorothea. I was like, I think he's okay. But this map is small enough for that to happen. Alright. Yeah, just use Meyer. We don't need to use Death for that.
waste of time.
Strength is all for a mercenary.
What's my strategy?
Okay. I am not able to really too much with Violet, but I can do that.
I will prevail.
Alright, you get out of here. You with your silver lances.
For everyone.
Jeez. Being utterly rude.
Hope you're ready. Attack at your
There.
own risk.
Now the two problem people are dealt with.
You're going.
We can
Sunshine.
properly deal with these two.
They were sure to perish.
Why not?
Yeah, the plus, like, 2 or something to every... Plus 3. To all stats. It's insane. I'm sorry, Flame.
Father, please forgive me. I am returning to Mother now, before you do.
Flame! Please, no! No!
Ready for anything.
Golly.
I'm in.
That's still just rough to see that. Ooh. Alright, I know I really just pissed off. So said it there. Rightfully so.
Don't expect any sympathy.
For the Empire.
I need to make sure
Your death is not in vain.
Alright. There we go.
I will see this war through.
Our enemy's plan is in ruins. Still, we must tread carefully.
Oh, it must have been both, yeah, it must have been Shamir and Eloise that had a plan that we're gonna do something. But since we have Shamir in our team, it just said Knights of Serios. Alright. Well, I don't know why you're doing that, because you have no chance of hitting.
Really wanted to die, huh?
Now we got that A+ with a sword.
I'm a quick study.
Yes, you are. That's just unfortunate.
I will not back down one step.
Very unfortunate for you. Jeez.
This is the cost of war.
Again, there's times where Ferdinand is just terrible, but ever since I said that earlier in this chapter, he's like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Oh, really, Violet? Really? Oh my goodness. Really, dude?
It is decided.
Oh no. Okay. I was about to say, is this going to be like a chain reaction of all the things hitting me? If so, I'm going to have a massive problem with it.
Here is something to believe in. This could turn the tides.
There. At least I got rid of one of them. Let's get rid of you.
What a bother.
Not what I was hoping for.
No, I don't think anyone was hoping for that. Alright.
Well done.
That was pretty sad, Byleth. Can you not do that again? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna do Haze Slash. Cause I'd rather not get hit by that. Alright, more chances for a crit, so I'm gonna go for that. And watch him crit on the last one. Yep, I knew it. I know this game way too dang well. If it's gonna give you a crit when you use a brave weapon, it's gonna be on the very last one, so you're still using every bit of it. You got the crit to get the kill, which you needed anyway, but it's gonna make sure you get all of those uses in, because no one really cares about your feelings of wanting to preserve a weapon. Jeez. Alright, you're gonna have to dismount to get through here. Jeez. Low waist. Alright. Drop a heal.
Appreciated.
Yeah, we're gonna do this. Nice. Which one's this? A battalion endurance. Not nearly as cool as we would like it to be. Oh my goodness, really?
Only I shall know how you die here.
Alright, Ferdinand. You need to heal. Alright, I'm gonna do this because... Oh, well, I can't do that. Darn thicket. I want the two of them to go up there for it. Because I want to see what both of the conversations might be.
Trespassing on holy ground is a grave sin indeed. You must atone for it with your life.
Ah. Nothing of real big note. If you send Edelgard. I guess he just doesn't care. Which, I mean, I get it. Oh yeah, because he negates crits. Oh, doesn't say anything to Byleth either. Wow. I'm pretty sure there would have been some between Flame and Byleth, but I wasn't gonna risk
I
that
have
happening.
lived many years. Yet, there was still more I wished to do.
We fought them off. Good work, everyone. We've repelled the principal force of the Knights and defended Garreg Mach.
Alright. Yuri MVP. He certainly was. Alright.
Hubert, I require a damage report at once.
Yes, Your Majesty. We'll have to make inquiries about the status of the main army.
Indeed. After all, it seems they had Rhea and Catherine fighting on their side.
This is just it. Okay. I was pretty sure that was the case, but I wanted to make sure.
Lady Rhea, I am afraid I must report that we lost Sethathin Flame. We were able to make a clean sweep of those who came to attack us. The unit that invaded the monastery has been completely driven away. A bitter disappointment. I fear we can do nothing but retreat for now.
Seteth. Flame. First my mother, and now those two have been stolen away as well? Must you take everything from me?
Lady Rhea.
No amount of repentance will bring your wretched soul salvation. You will be chained to the Valley of Torment. Eternally walk the desert until the skin rots from your bones. I will ensure that you pay for your sins, Professor! In the name of the Nabatans, I swear it!
Edelgard, Your Majesty, I am so sorry.
Silence. We must tend to your wounds.
It will do no good. I can't be saved. You must know that. Ladislava has also passed. The enemy has withdrawn. You are safe now.
Understood. Good work. Another loss on my watch. As more blood wets my feet, they grow heavier with each step. Remorse, resentment, despair. I have dispensed with all such things to come this far.
And we must keep moving forward.
Hubert, tell me the status of the enemy.
The battle has ended in a draw with severe injuries on both sides. Some known commanders have been slain. The most worthy of mention among the dead was the second in command to Rhea herself, Seteth. With the death of Alois, the Knights of Serios have taken a huge blow as well. Garreg Mach has not taken much damage, and so it would not be out of line to claim it as a victory for us.
Yes, we'll call that a victory. Although, I'm sure they will say the same.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Oh, what a terrible opponent that was! Why is the church always like this? How am I supposed to train for that? It was way too scary.
When I saw the enemy enter Garreg Mach, I prepared myself mentally for death. I thought it would be a fine time to die, but I suppose it wasn't quite the time after all.
Our luck was good to have grabbed victory. The church has great strength. We must not have grief, but must keep fighting. Can we be fighting now?
This was certainly a momentous victory. We lost a lot, but we also gained a lot. Certain lords in the kingdom have examined the situation again and decided to join our cause, changing their fealty based on just one battle. They are all a disgrace to the nobility.
Today, our enemy held many faces I knew well. If we must fight to the death with that kind of opponent, what will become of this world?
There's no stopping me. I'm ready to go strike the kingdom here and now. Everyone must see that we can easily unite Fodlan, don't you think?
Excellent job, everyone. The battle is over now. While we have sustained heavy losses, our foe has suffered far more.
Although not exactly as planned, a win is a win. It may be safe to say that there will be no more obstacles on our way to the next battle.
We will break through the Tailtean Plains and then set course for Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. The final chapter of our fight with the kingdom and the church is close at hand.
Okay. So, I was a bit confused. That's why I kind of silenced myself for a little bit, because I went to go look it up. So, I made a bet. I did a bet. You have a choice to not kill Flayn and Seteth. Because I knew there was a choice there. I didn't want to say anything. But I didn't realize... I thought you might. And I messed it up. You have to defeat Flayn with Byleth. You can't defeat her with anyone else. If you do defeat her with Byleth, then you can defeat Seteth, and then you have a choice to either kill them or spare them. But since we killed Flayn with Happy, it took the route of they were killed. I don't know how much story-wise that's going to have any bearing. I know instead of having the enragement of Rhea that we got, she's a lot less pissed because we didn't kill Seteth and Flayn. But, but as you can tell, there's a 7-hour difference there. I don't know if I want to do that. Do that whole chapter all over again for that. That's something I'm going to have to decide. Huh. I honestly did not know that. I'm sorry, I'm not ending it yet until I know if it's something I really need to I'm trying to find exactly if this is something I can do. Yeah, I don't really see what I mean, there might be some differences, but I don't know what the actual difference of all this is. And honestly, playing 7 more hours of it all just to get a different... I don't know if that's really all that important. I feel bad because I did not want to actually kill Flayn and Seteth. Oh, gosh. Especially, we spared Claude. Oh, gosh. Oh. You know what? I like, it's late for me, so I'm gonna save this on a different file than I normally do. I've typically just kept those 2 save files. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this on this file right here. I'll sleep on it, I may go back and redo that whole chapter. I might just do that, just so I don't have to deal with that. But I will show, like, the difference at the end of the, choice, I guess is the best way to put it, of whether or not you choose to kill Flayn and Sedith or not. But that is something for me to worry about. If I do, you'll see a little bit more to this video than there is. If not, I chose to say, you know what? I'm not going through it again. Who knows? Since I'm not having to do it recording-wise, I think I'll be fine, and I'll probably do it. Because I think that's seriously going to bug me. I knew that there was a... I'm mad. I am mad. Sorry. And you know what? Oh gosh, now it's bugging me. I'm sorry, it's bugging me. Is the same... Oh, okay. So, it doesn't matter. Hilda dies in that fight. No matter what. Lysithea is one of the characters in that you could recruit if you didn't recruit her previously. And that's how you get the choice to spare Claude, is if you use the protagonist to take him out. Okay. So, I did that chapter right, but I didn't do this chapter right. Who would have thought? Alright, anyway. Thank you all for watching, and again, if this is the end of the video, it's the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next chapter. More likely than not, though, it's not in like 2 shakes of a thing. You'll see exactly what happens when you don't kill Flayn and Sedith. Alright, I'll see you guys in a minute. Or later. Or whatever. You know what? Bye.
Finish. This region's tea is the finest in the world.
Hello, Ferdinand. You seem to be in a good mood.
What is that supposed to mean? Perhaps you expected me to hold a grudge against you after our duel. In fact, I have moved on.
Have you now? Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I took it hard at the time, I will confess. I always thought that I equaled you in skill, or even surpassed you. But you showed me that I do not come close to matching your talents. Yet a true noble does not give up in the face of defeat. I will continue my training, and one day I will be an elite warrior. That is the path I must take, as a noble and a man of honor.
You really are in a good mood. Your determination is admirable.
Yes. One day I will surpass your abilities, and I will defeat you in combat.
Ferdinand, there's something I've been meaning to say to you for a while now. Honestly, I couldn't care less that you are of noble birth. Your fierce determination doesn't come from your bloodline. It's your own doing. The reason I value you and want to be friends with you is because of who you are, not who your family is.
I have something I would like to say to you, too. Certainly we must recognize the common folk who strive for greatness and attain it. But for those of us born into nobility, things are more complicated. From birth, nobles must excel. If we do not, we will be forced out of our houses. This environment breeds superior individuals, and they in turn recreate the rigorous environment for their own children. Without that cycle, there would be no political elite guiding the world towards prosperity.
So you're saying that the kind of world I'm striving to create is wrong?
I would not go so far as to say your way is wrong, just that another way might be better. If you insist upon undoing the nobility, then we must build something in its place. We can provide free education for all, and then select the highest performing students for more intensive training and tutoring. I truly believe that people are products of their environment.
Finding a way to educate the people. Interesting. I'm impressed by how much thought you've given this. No matter what shape the world takes, I'm sure I'll always need people like you by my side. People with strong principles who will argue with me and force me to consider ideas that are contrary to my own.
Yes, exactly! Finally, Edelgard, you appreciate how important I am to your cause.
I've always thought of you as a valued friend, Ferdinand. That's nothing new.
Edelgard, I have to tell you something. I think now is the right time. Do you know what my ancestor Derek von Eyre said after your ancestor defeated him? He said, "You are an imperial beauty. Please, accept me as your husband."
Halt, Ferdinand. There's a time and a place for everything. But that time is not now.
You there!
Ah, is there something I can do for you, Constance?
Is there something you can do? Of course there is!
Well, what is it?
It ought to be plain.
I do not follow. Please, clarify what you mean.
Have you forgotten the day I revealed to you my silly little dream? If you weren't paying attention, I shall be cross.
Oh, yes. You must be referring to the oblique request you made concerning peaks and valleys. Not seeing a peak ahead of you, you hoped I might help lift you out of your lowly
Precisely! You've summed it up completely. Now that you know of what I speak, I want you to forget it immediately. Act as if you heard nothing.
You want me to forget the occasion you just asked me to remember. I see. Before I discard this memory entirely, might I be so bold as to ask why?
Is it not obvious? I don't want my weakness bandied about. I vowed to restore House Nouvelle through my own grand achievement. Just as I would not abandon this dream, I would not accept it being handed to me. Though if I am to be quite honest, the real reason is that letting you in on this vulnerability was an indiscretion I won't repeat.
I see. What a curious situation.
I don't take your meaning.
5 years ago, with the cladding of my highborn status stripped away, I was vulnerable and exposed. To borrow your words, I was in a valley, and a thick shroud of fog obscured the peak before me. Now, the cloud has lifted a bit, and I can see a glimpse of what lies ahead.
And what, dare I ask, do you see?
There is a towering cliff for you to scale, and a long, rocky path lying ahead of me. Rather than ascending separately, we can join hands and face these obstacles together. Then, we can reach the heights of our forebears, or, dare I say, even higher.
Even higher, you say? Now you remind me once more of the boy I knew. I have but one concern.
And what might that be?
That I shall outpace your laggardly efforts.
Huh? I was being sincere, you know.
Come on, sell it to me!
Huh? What's going on here? Hey, stop that! Can't you see he's not interested?
We're just talking business here, now move it along!
Oh, I just thought it looked a little... Actually, now I'm curious. What kind of business are you conducting? I've been told I have a keen eye for appraisal.
Just trying to buy a sword. I told him to name his price, but he won't give it up.
Any price? You must be able to afford anything your heart desires. But did you consider that he might have a good reason not to sell it? Maybe it's a family heirloom, or simply his favorite sword.
No one asked for your appraisal, now move it! Or are you looking for trouble?
That is quite enough! You would dare threaten a woman? I will not permit such ungentlemanly conduct.
Oh, hello, Ferdinand. Do you have an opinion on all this?
Behind me, milady! I will protect you!
Who are you? You looking for trouble too?
Keep your distance, gutless knave. I just cleaned my sword, and if I maim you, I will have to clean it again. Neither of us wants that, so I suggest you leave at once.
Ah, forget it. You're not worth my time.
Ah, thank you so much. You saved me there.
Well, that is taken care of. Are you hurt, Mercedes?
Hurt? No, I'm fine. We were only talking.
Ah, I am glad. I do not abide uncouth behavior. Stopping it is my duty as a noble.
Are you enjoying this lovely day, Dorte? Everyone seems to be in such good spirits.
Marianne, do you have a moment?
Oh, Ferdinand. What do you need?
I have been thinking about what you said.
I didn't mean to upset you. You should just ignore me and...
You misunderstand. It is not that you upset me. Honestly, you mystify me. You are a noble, and yet you do not wish to be one. Is that not so? I did not expect to hear that from the daughter of Margrave Edmund.
But I'm not actually his daughter. He's a distant relative. We share very little of the same blood.
But still, you come from a noble lineage, do you not?
Oh, no.
Ah, there it is. Just as I thought. But what is she hiding?
Oh, Linhardt. My apologies. I didn't mean to bother you.
Ah, Marianne. You're no bother at all. In fact, you've arrived at precisely the right time.
Huh? The right time for what?
You have a crest, don't you?
I don't... What are you saying?
If you hide it, that just makes it more interesting. You do have one.
Please don't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone I have a crest. If people find out, then...
What?
Please, my adoptive father told me to keep it a secret. And I personally don't want it known.
Who said I intended to tell anyone? Your secret is safe with me. I find it fascinating that you carry the crest of the erased hero.
Please stop, don't say another word. No one should know about or even speak of my crest. Nothing good comes of it. It's even the reason my parents disappeared. This crest only brings bad luck to anyone who comes near me. Even you, Linhardt, you have to stay away.
Bad luck generated by the crest? Now that would be a discovery well worth making. What manner of bad luck do you suppose might beset me?
No, you shouldn't be so cavalier about something you couldn't possibly understand. I have to go.
It's true, I don't understand. But I very much want to.
Alright. Finally got back to this point. I'll go into the vast differences between that. Between, like, what we are going to be going with forward and what didn't happen. But, again, I wanted to show this part of the fight that had this happen. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
When I heard you were alive, Professor, I was so happy. But now this? How can it be that you fight on that side? I cannot take your life, for I owe you mine, even now. And yet I cannot back away from this fight. When this is over, my brother and I will go into hiding. It is the only way.
Now's our chance.
Alright. Only hit those two, but hey, it's better than not hitting anybody else with it.
I do not imagine we shall ever meet again.
And as you can see, it's very different. She teleports out rather than she dies and Sedith gets utterly pissed. Also, Alois said something about having to take your life because he's pissed off that you attacked Rhea. So, there is that.
Unexpected.
throw up a heal.
I think
I'm
ready for anything.
We're gonna be heading this way.
I'll cut a bloody path.
More fighting.
Good grief, the amount of people there. Get out of here.
Only thorns left on this rose.
Yeah, just doing this is fine. Should be anyway.
I'm in.
Huh.
I'll be sure to pray for you.
Alright. I'll have you move there. I keep forgetting to change his class. He's been a he's had Wyvern Master, Wyvern Rider Mastered. There we go. For a bit, I just keep forgetting to turn it off. Well, turn it to something else.
Sunshine.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and get rid of that guy, please.
They were short.
Constance has been very good as a Dart Flyer throughout all this. Alright,
Why not? Better you than me.
Get rid of that church soldier.
Relax. You're dead.
Yeah, I'm trying to get... Yeah, you don't... You're not gonna... Yeah.
Might makes right.
I will prevail. No use. To survive,
There you
I
go.
will win. My heart burns with pride. Good going.
You fiend, bearing ill will against the goddess. This place...
Good grief. That dude's got a bent. No damage. Jeez.
Here is something
Also,
to
this is
believe in.
happening.
Another victory.
My work's...
Not all.
Let's keep up the pace. My ambitions
Not
are
a bad
within
level up.
reach.
Not a bad one. You need them all. There you go.
Don't expect any sympathy. That'll do. For now.
It is decided.
Yeah, you fizz out.
Hey!
It's over. This could turn the tides.
wanted to die, huh?
It all comes down to this.
Ow. I was not expecting that. I was actually expecting him to dodge that.
Try to keep up.
Alright.
I'll strike you down.
This should be fine.
It's win or die. I'm growing, but at what cost?
Alright.
No time for accolades.
Definitely.
Thanks.
I could do restore, but I'd much rather get that heal. Alright. Not quite there.
Not giving up.
Also,
Same old, same old.
having increased range is nice. Especially when you have +3 to your range, and now you have a range of 5. From 1 to 5 on your range. Or 1 to 4 on your range. Get out of here, Eloise. I don't care. Actually...
Gerald, I did it.
You know what? No, I don't care.
Our enemies.
You've annoyed me. Free.
For the fate of Foden.
I'm only getting.
Well, that works.
I'm not going down. You're all going down.
Just like that.
Here is something to believe in.
Another
Doing
victory.
a lot of brawling right over here.
Fire meets water.
Not for myself, for everyone.
Very good.
Here.
Might makes right. I owe you one.
Good grief. This'll work.
Will this ever end?
Yeah.
Trespassing on holy ground is a grave sin indeed. You must atone for it with your life.
Doesn't. I hope that doesn't mean you're gonna start moving now. Okay, now. You just healed all of that health back. Alright. Let's make sure that this goes over smoothly. Alright, Mercedes got level 30.
I'm sorry, Rhea. For Flame's sake, I must take my leave to retreat.
We fought them off. Good work, everyone. We've repelled the principal force of the Knights and defended Garreg Mach.
Very different tone by the end of that fight.
Hubert,
yeah, Yuri
I
did a
require
lot of work in
damage
this one.
report at once.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Indeed. After all,
Okay, that's the same. Let's do right there. Just in case.
Lady Rhea, the unit that invaded the monastery has been completely driven away. We were able to make a clean sweep of those who came to attack us. However, I fear we can do nothing but retreat for now.
What of Sedith and Flame?
Sedith and Flame were able to escape in another direction. I have a message from them.
I am sorry, Rhea. I fear we must return to a life in hiding. I detest that person with all my heart. However, Flame's life is more important to me than all else. I pray that you will one day be free from the burden of your work.
I see. As expected, I am the only one left. Mother, please wait for me. I promise that I will save you. The filthy thief who stole you from the Holy Tomb, I will crush them with my bare hands!
Edelgard, Your Majesty.
silence.
It will do no. Ladislava has also.
So that's the same.
Understood. Good work. Another loss on my watch, as more blood remorse.
And we must.
Hubert.
The battle has ended in a draw with severe injuries on both sides. Some known commander. With the death of Alois, the Knights of Serios have taken a huge blow as well. Garreg Mach has not taken much damage, and so it would not be out of line to claim it as a victory for us.
Yes. We'll call that a victory. Although, I'm sure they will say the same.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Oh, what a terrible opponent that was! How am I supposed to train for that? It was...
When I saw the enemy enter Garreg Mach, I prepared my... I thought it would be a fine time.
Our luck was good, Dad. We must not have...
This was certain lords in the king changing their fate.
Today, if we must...
There's no stopping. Everyone must see that we can easily...
Excellent job, everyone. While we have sustained heavy...
Although not exactly as planned, it may be safe to say that there will be no more.
We will break through the Tailtean Plains and then set course for Ferdiad, the final chapter of our fight with the kingdom and the...
Okay. I was actually I know that was part of the cutscene anyway. There was nothing new to that, except for that end part right there, where it's like, hey, instead of them being confirmed as dead, they sent a letter saying that they're going back into hiding. That was the important thing. So yeah, I feel a lot better about that one. I mean, I guess I am still glad that I was able to show off Rhea being super pissed. Because that is something that's pretty just rare to see, you know? And I don't know if it's gonna... It's some things that what I was reading said it would change it dramatically. I guess it just... all it would really change is the dialogue. And as I was reading up on this, there's actually only 18 chapters on this path, not 19. So... And like with, I'm trying to remember if Golden Deer did this or not, but it's kind of like with the final fight in the Blue Lions bit, where you do the chapter mission in that month, the 17th chapter, and then the 18th one falls right up after that. So there's only technically 2 months to do stuff, so I did actually go ahead and, as I went back through it, I did the mission for Marianne. So that is done. So all I have to worry about is doing the, just training up everybody. So there's that. Anyway, that's it for this chapter. And I think that's the safe thought I want to go with, because I personally just want to have that everyone's happy kind of note. Well, not happy, but you get my point. We didn't kill everybody. But that'll be it. See you guys in the next one.